All right, come join me for a ride along on 3rd Avenue. Let's see if we can go ride on the new stretch of signals that are timed for cyclists. We'll go from approximately 60th Street, which we're just coming up on, up to 96th Street. And unlike some other videos that have done this at a pretty fast, like 2 or 3 times video speed, I'm gonna ride through at normal speed, and we'll see if we can keep up with the green signal timing or not. So this is, I'll flip the camera around, this is 61st Street. Technically the green wave started this past block, but it's blocked by construction, so 61st up to 96th Street. Let's see how we can do with the timing. All right. Light turned green. Now I have my bike, my pedal assist, capped out at 25 kph, which roughly is about 15 miles an hour, and I normally ride at like a 13 mile an hour pace. In theory, the signals here are timed for about a 15 mile an hour pace. My bone to pick, if I have one, is that it really should be 13 miles an hour. So we'll see how we do. So this is 3rd Avenue in Manhattan in New York City, and it's about 2:30 in the afternoon on April 1st. Great April Fool's joke that would get me is if the city said they were rolling out green signal timing to all the bike lanes. I would fall for that in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, they did say they do not want to add any more avenues in Manhattan with the green signal timing until they finish this quote-unquote pilot and get feedback from it. Pilots are the curse of good things. There's plenty of cities that do green signal timing for cyclists. We don't need to pilot it. We can just, start to do it. I should also mention DOT has been piloting this in different spots for about 3 or 4 years now. So surely there's enough information by now to know we can just do it. All right, 69th Street. Let's see, I can watch some of the countdowns at a couple of these intersections. I'm falling a little bit behind the signal timing, but this is my natural pace. I'm not cruising along. Normally bike for transportation, not for exercise. And even if I do bike for exercise, pretty sure that means I go slower than, not faster than a 15 mile an hour pace. Coming up on a couple good things I'll point out here. You'll notice on the right, between the bike lane and the drivers, these armadillos, and see there I lost the light. Of course, the driver's not even paying attention. It's his green signal. Now he sees it. I'll flip the camera around for a minute. Could have gone, and many cyclists do go after turning traffic. There's a few intersections where this setup has a flashing yellow light so that drivers don't have sort of a steady green arrow. They get a flashing yellow arrow to indicate the cyclist can go the whole time, which I think is better. It's a delicate trade-off because there are certainly some spots where that means drivers are not going to pay attention, but at the same time, it doesn't sort of penalize cyclists for going straight. So I'd like to see more of it, but I understand there are some competing concerns. So here, flip the camera back around. See parking enforcement agent just sort of walking by vehicles. And according to the law, this construction is supposed to have a temporary bike lane set up. It does not. Just today, the city released a new map that shows what bike lanes are sort of affected by authorized construction like that in the street. The answer turns out to be 179 miles of bike lanes have potential conflicts from permits that DOT is authorized for construction. Now, most construction permits don't actually affect the bike lane, but 179 miles of bike lanes have active permits, and some of those permits go on for years and years and years. So just like there's been a push to remove scaffolding, the city really needs to do a better job of reducing the length of time. Streets are blocked. It's almost sort of a funny quirk. As cheap as parking is in the city, there's jokes about, you know, the single parking ticket being $65 if you don't pay the meter. Well, the cheapest way to park is pay a $50 DOT permit fee, and they will let you park in the bike lane or obstruct the bike lane. And, you know, just set up some cones and it's your spot, $50. Here we've got a whole bunch of vehicles with the cones on them. Cones are both a universal sign that the vehicle doesn't belong there and that they won't get a ticket. All right. So here we are, 81st Street. We've hit one signal. I'm going at about a 13-mile-an-hour pace. And it's an uphill stretch. We'll see if I catch another red light here. See, this construction site has a good temporary bike lane set up. Yep. Heads up. And pedestrians in the bike lane. Not always obvious, especially when they don't paint it green. Beautiful turn from the right lane there. Texas plates, no surprise. All right. It's probably a little bit hard to see on the video, but a lot of these trees are just starting to get their buds out. Some leaves starting to poke out on some trees. If you go over to Central Park, over a couple blocks, you'll see some blossoms on like dogwoods and trees like that. So here's a good example. Green arrow for turning traffic. There is none. So I'm gonna go, again, not quite following the law for the construction site, but at least they have somebody out flagging. Glass in the bike lane. Driver not yielding. Par for the course. All right. So far, this green wave's pretty great. Rolling through. Wish I had a before comparison, but he really hit about a light every 5 to 8 blocks if you're riding on a stretch that does not have good signal timing. So, notably different. Here we are coming up on 91st Street. It's almost 30 blocks there. One light. And pretty windy out today. I don't know if that'll come through on the audio. Hopefully it's filtered out fine. It is a windy day. Flip the camera around here as we approach the end of this protected bike lane stretch. This is 94th Street. 95th Street. Thank you. And 96, that's the end of it. DOT has finally, after about 2 years of building out this 3rd Ave bike lane, they've announced the section just ahead. We'll see how long it takes them to actually build it. There's really not a reason why it didn't happen immediately following the first section. But, all right, we're gonna turn. There's a bus lane here. But of course, drivers blocking the bus lane because the curb lane is not managed. Free parking on this curb. Result is predictably double parking for deliveries and things like that. All right. I'm gonna turn around here on 2nd Avenue. But thanks for riding along.